Hey y'all, I just want to jump on here right quick and talk about self-control and discipline equal obedience. Um, Oftentimes when we see self-control and discipline and obedience, we like turn our heads to it. Why? Because our flesh don't want to have self-control. Our flesh don't want to have discipline, and our flesh definitely don't want to obey. But I'm here to tell you the way that God, when He's promising you something for your life, it requires obedience. Period. When you think about the people in the Bible, in order for them to obtain God promises, it requires obedience. When you first get on this journey, you might be a babe in Christ, and God might be flattering you, getting you little stuff, getting you this, showing you this and this and that and the third. But then as you mature on this walk, honey, God, like, okay, it requires some obedience from you now. God is like a father to his children, period. Okay? So if anybody telling you that it don't require for you to obey God to obtain his promises, they are a liar. Okay? They are a liar, especially if you're a child of God and you on the journey with Christ and you think you're supposed to obtain God promises without obeying. Read the Bible. Read the Bible. Read the Bible. They had to obey God. Okay? Anywho, as mere humans, like, we take the word self-control, discipline, and obedience as a bad thing to hear. Yeah, it ruffles up that flesh. Anywho, not realizing that these words hold a significant weight and power in transforming our behavior, y'all. Yeah, behavior is something else that have to be dealt with. Okay, that's a part of your self-control, and it's a part of discipline, and that's why it requires obedience. Okay, because our behavior play a major part. I have talked about our character, but our behavior plays a major part. When you think about children and when they be misbehaving or doing something they ain't got no business doing, or talking bad, or whatever the case may be, what do? You discipline them for them to be obedient to whatever you're saying. Okay, I mean, for the parents that care. Okay, well, we're not gonna go there. So that's how it is with God as well. Okay, but anywho, you don't realize you don't have self-control or discipline until you're put in a difficult, unsettling situation that exposes your behavior. I think all of us have been through something like this, like when our behavior been exposed and you don't know that you have self-control. Then we all done been there. Okay, self-control and discipline is a choice and not a force. That's something that I had to think about. Like, self-control and discipline is a choice, not a force. What they mean? They mean that God not gonna force you to learn how to be to obtain self-control. He ain't gonna force you to be disciplined, and he definitely ain't gonna force you to obey him. Okay, when you think about, it's a choice, meaning that it's something that you have to choose to do. You have to choose to have self-control, and you have to choose to be disciplined, to be obedience. What I mean by that is, okay, if a situation come up, right, that mean a situation come up, if it's unsettling or whatever the case may be, that mean that you have a choice to obtain self-control and to stay disciplined in whatever situation. Because like I was just saying, you don't know that you're lacking self-control or discipline until your behavior is exposed, okay, to a situation. Expose your behavior. It's so easy to think you have self-control and discipline until something rise up. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about that. Like, when I noticed that I needed work on with self-control and discipline, once you start being worked on in that area, you can actually feel when it finna come up. Let me tell you something, we still in the flesh, okay? So we ain't gonna always get it right, all right? But the whole point is to, like, catch yourself before you lose your self-control. Catch yourself when you're not being discipline, okay? But anywho, let me keep going. I want to give y'all the definitions right quick. Self-control means the ability to control oneself, in particular one's emotion and desires, or the expression of them in one's behavior, especially in difficult situations. Just like I was saying, You don't know that you lack self-control or discipline. I'm saying self-control because I just said definition. You don't know that you're lacking self-control until your behavior is exposed in difficult situation, okay? And it don't mean that we're going to always deal with every difficult situation at our best, but it's the whole point of like catching it before it end up happening. I remember that time when I ain't gonna say that. I'm gonna keep on going. Next definition, because I be sharing too much probably sometimes some of my stories, honey. But I don't be minding because I just be keeping it transparent. I be keeping it real. Because in order for people to know that God have changed you and work and still working on you, sometimes you gotta put that stuff out there. They just being honest. How can people know that God is real without telling them some of the things that you don't experience, some of the things that you done been through, so that they can see the change in you? Does that mean that I got everything down to the T? No. Okay? No, and no, and no. But I'm a work in progress. Okay, let's keep it going. Discipline. Discipline means the practice of training people to obey rules or a code of behavior, using punishment to correct disobedience. Discipline, the practice of training people to obey rules or a code of behavior, using punishment to correct disobedience. Oh my God, using punishment to correct disobedience. I remember that one time, y'all, I was dating this guy or whatever the case may be, and it was like years ago. I probably like 17 or 18 or whatever. And I remember he wanted me to drop him off, and at the time I was finna get ready to eat, and I'm like, man, let me get ready to eat for or whatever, then I'll drop you off. So he was like, I'll drive or whatever like that. So I'm like, all right, cool. At the time, you know, I had my learning license. He didn't have no license, and having learning license just like not having no license in a situation when you're driving without an adult. That's the law, okay? That's the law. But anywho, you know, we used to do things like that back in the days, and I had my own car. So I was like, okay, or whatever like that, because I was so hungry, I was ready to eat. So I'm like, yeah, you can drive. So anyway, as we backed out the driveway, whatever like that, we were heading down the road, and then we came up into a roadblock. When we came into the roadblock, we were like, darn. So we like, what we gonna do? Cause he ain't had no license, whatever like that, and I only had learners. So I was like, man, I don't know if he was like that or I was like that, but anyway, we both agreed to like turn off the scene or whatever like that. Turn off the scene or whatever like that. And when we turned off the scene, we ended up coming to a cul-de-sac, and we ended up switching seats. But by the time we switched seats, I was in the front seat and he was in the back seat. Because, you know, if you're trying to switch seats, you can't just, I don't know why we just didn't switch seats. I don't know. Like, we couldn't switch seats like that. So he had to jump in the back, and then I had to jump in the driver's side, and then he was going to try to jump back in the passenger side. And what we were going to do is just pull up in somebody's driveway, knock on their door, like, do so-and-so live here. Like, we already had it planned out. Like, so quick. But by the time I looked in the rearview mirror, he was still in the back seat. I seen the police pulled up behind us, and I was like, man, we we done got caught. But anywho, and we went to jail. Yes, I did. He did too, or whatever it may be. But anywho, that was like a discipline. It was a form of punishment, you know what I'm saying, to correct my disobedience from the law, okay? Anyway, don't judge me, honey. I'm just able to speak and be transparent on my life, honey. It is what it is. But anyway, obedience. Obedience means complying or willing to comply with orders or requests, submissive to another's will. Oh, a lot of people don't even like to hear the word submissive, but being obedient to God is a requirement. You know what I'm saying? Especially for his promises, because y'all, once you mature in Christ, and he know you know right from wrong, it requires for you to obey. And they just eat. Our flesh don't like the word obedience, you know what I'm saying? But when you continue to grow in God, I'm gonna say this, I love the word obey now. Because obey keep me from harm, keep me from danger, keep me from pain. You see what I'm saying? But anyway, that's all I kind of want to share about self-control and discipline equal obedience. Like, it's a requirement on this journey with God. And if anybody tell you that you don't have to obey God in order to obtain his promises, the devil is a liar. The people in the Bible, I don't know if I said it, but I'm going to say it again if I didn't. They had to obey God to obtain his promises. Yes, God is a God of just and an unjust God, meaning he reigns on either the ones that love him and the ones that don't, but it still requires obedience for his children. So if you consider yourself a child of God, yes, obedience is a requirement from you to obtain the promises of God. But all right then, until next time.